Who is too eager for success will fail. Too eager for gain will lose. Therefore, the sage does nothing for success, so he will not fail. Lao Tzu. How do we succeed by doing nothing? Many students study hard, but they still fail the exam. Many workers work hard, but they are still poor. Many people make great efforts, but they still can't realize their dreams. Why? Because all these human activities are making success, not finding success. They want to control and master everything, but the result backfires. They accomplish nothing. Taoism believes that human beings like to control things and interfere in the world, but the more deliberate they are, the more counterproductive they will be. The more people want to succeed, the more they will fail. Success will come when you don't care about it. But can we truly succeed by doing nothing? This video is about how to succeed without trying. You may know the outside world without going out. You may know the divine law without looking out of the window. The farther you go out, the less you may learn. Therefore, the sage learns all without going far away. He becomes well known without looking out, and accomplishes all without doing anything, wrote Lao Tzu in his work, the Tao Te Ching. Nowadays, with the internet, these remarks seem to be very common. But what you should know is that these insightful thoughts come from Tao Te Ching, a book about 2,500 years ago, written by Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was a great philosopher in ancient China. His Tao Te Ching of 5,000 words in 81 chapters is an influential philosophical work in the world. To understand what not trying is, we must understand what Tao is. Tao is the core idea of Taoism. In the Tao Te Ching, I quote, "The Tao that can be described is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be spoken is not the eternal name. Heaven and earth are ruthless. They treat everything as straw or dog. The sage is ruthless. He treats everyone as straw or dog." End quote. Tao treats everything equally. Tao refers to the natural law of all things in the world. The law is abstract, so Tao cannot be named and described accurately. Tao permeates the world like air. We can't see it, but we can feel it. For example, when you travel to a country, although you can see many different people and things, what indeed impresses you is not these, but the experience that this country brings you. Now, let's talk about the word not trying. What is not trying? The concept not trying comes from the philosophical thought Wu Wei, put forward by Taoism. Wu Wei literally means doing nothing, inaction, non-doing, or not trying. However, does not trying really mean we do nothing but just lay in bed and wait for success? Let's see how Taoism describes not trying. I quote, "The more you know of the human world, the less you know of the divine law. Less and less you need to know till nothing needs to be done. When you need to do nothing, there is nothing you cannot do. If you need to do nothing, then you can rule over the world. If everything needs you to do, then you cannot rule over the world." End quote. Let's think about these two sentences. If you need do nothing, then you can rule over the world. If everything need you to do, then you cannot rule over the world. Think about our world. It is made up of different social departments, hospitals, police stations, schools, post offices, transportation departments, health departments, parties, Congress, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, etc. Every day the hospital is busy saving lives, and the police are busy arresting criminals and investigating cases. The school is busy assigning homework to students. The post office sends express delivery. The parties are busy canvassing for votes, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is busy dealing with world leaders. They do a lot of things, exhaust their bodies, and burden their minds every day, but they can't rule the world. You may want to say it seems that the president can rule the whole country only by issuing orders to different departments of the country. But in fact, the president still can't rule the world. So, who can truly rule the world? The answer is abstract principles. Principles include ideas, logic, laws, and nature. It is these invisible and untouchable ideas like not trying that rule the world. But do you think about what the idea itself has done? It didn't do anything by itself, but exactly they ruled the world. This is the charm of not trying. Therefore, not trying means action through inaction. It's not doing nothing, but great and dialectical wisdom. Not trying exerts the power of nature. What is the best rule? None knows there is a ruler. What is the second best? The ruler is loved and praised. What comes next? He is feared. Still next, he is disobeyed. For he is not trustworthy enough or not at all. For long he should spare his speech. When things are done, he should let people say that all is natural. Lao Tzu. The power of not trying lies in not making anything, but making everything natural. Doing nothing seems counter-efficient, but in fact, it's the greatest doing. Why? Because Taoism is full of dialectics. To be and not to be, good and not good, difficult and easy, long and short, high and low, sound and no voice. As the Tao Te Ching says, if all men in the world know what is fair, then it is unfair. If all men know what is good, then it is not good. For to be and not to be, to coexist, there cannot be one without the other. Without difficult, there cannot be easy. Without long, there cannot be short. Without high, there cannot be low. Without sound, there can be no voice. Without before, there cannot be after. The contrary complement each other. End quote. Taoism believes that not to be owns the whole world. Water is the strongest, silence is better than sound, and uselessness represents the most useful. Let's explore some examples. Imagine that many people dream of owning a big house. When you own a house, you can only stay in one room, but when there is no house, you can travel all over the world. A cup full of water has only one glass of water, but an empty cup owns the whole world. Water is the weakest, but no one can beat it, so water is the strongest. The more lovers talk, the more quarrels they have. When they calm down and remain silent, they become more harmonious. Tall trees are cut down by humans because they are useful. The small trees survived because they were useless. Lao Tzu emphasizes the divine law may go opposite ways. Even weakness is useful. All things in the world come into being with a form. The form comes from the formless. An example is war. As Sun Tzu stated, and I quote, "In the practical art of war, the best thing of all is to take the enemy's country whole and intact. To shatter and destroy it is not so good. So too, it is better to recapture an army entire than to destroy it. To capture a regiment, a detachment, or a company entire than to destroy them. Hence to fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting." End quote. Again, to fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. That means winning without fighting is supreme excellence. And this is why not trying have greater power than trying. There is a limit to trying, but there is no limit to not trying. Not trying is a greater possibility than trying. Now, what are the benefits of these ancient theories to our current real life? According to Taoist thinking, there are several ways to get a better life through not trying. Don't keep subjective prejudice, but be good at observing the pluralistic world. The first one is, don't keep subjective prejudice, but be good at observing the pluralistic world. Why can't human beings clearly understand objective things? Taoism believes that it is because people's subjective consciousness exists, and they think they are clever. In the process of continuous exploration, human beings gradually realize good and evil, beauty and ugliness, right and wrong, gain and loss, wrong and right. These consciousnesses constantly struggle in the human brain, making people enter a period of cognition and judgment, and gradually lose their true state. Lao Tzu tells us that people should put aside all their self-thought thoughts before knowing the outside world. As Ludwig Wittgenstein said, don't think, but look. Understanding the world from a changing point of view. Now the second one, understanding the world from a changing point of view. You can't step into the same river twice, even if you are in the same place. The river is not the same. Philosophers' words show that all things are always in motion and changeable. Since everything in the universe is moving and changing all the time, How can people stay the same? Taoism gives us an answer. All things grow. I see them return to nature. Multiple as things are, they return to their root. Their root is tranquility. Everything in the world is in constant contact and change, and we observe and experience those cyclical life states from endless changes. But the cycle never leaves its origin and will eventually return to the original state. The silent and invisible origin exists before the heavens and the earth, and it always remains independent. It is an undeniable truth that only by grasping the development and changes of things in the dynamic state can we grasp the outside world more accurately. Less desire and more contentment. Taoism appreciates water very much and thinks that it is close to Tao. Taoism emphasizes the highest good is like water. Water benefits everything by giving without taking or contending. It likes the place others dislike, so it follows closely Tao. The place should be low, the mind broad, the gifts kind, the speech trustworthy, the rule sound, the deed well done, the action timely. Without contention, a man is blameless. In modern society, people have too many desires and always feel unsatisfied. Human beings like to control everything and compete with everything to gain their achievements. In the process of constantly comparing with others, they lose their happiness and real self. In the Analects of Confucius, we find a story about a man named Yan Hu, who is most recognized by Confucius. Yan Hu eats with crude bamboo utensils, drinks with scoops, and lives in a very humble house. Ordinary people can't stand it. However, Yan Hu is still able to keep his heart happy and not change his mind. To Yan Hu, wealth is not what he wants, but benevolence is what he wants. The quality of life can't change his inner firm ambition at all. His attitude towards poverty is very calm, and he never complains. Besides, be honest with yourself. Happiness comes from within, and no one can take it away. If you base your happiness on material enjoyment, when the external material changes or disappears, your heart will also be affected. The external things are not real happiness. So how to get a better life through not trying? I quote, "No crime is greater than insatiable desire. No woe is greater than covetise. If you know contentment comes from being content, you will always have enough." End quote. Contentment is true happiness. Learn to embrace the changes of the world and follow in the footsteps of the Tao. It's the art of not trying. Thank you for watching.